One of the really successful factors of the books is the fact that we have organisations such as the Department of Primary Industries and Regional Development, GRDC, we have the university sector and CSIRO, all part of their building of knowledge and the presentation of that knowledge to and through the books.
The original intent was that we wanted to make an offline book that was interactive and interesting, that we could look at or that could be read from just the dot points and the pictures through to some more sort of text and some deeper stuff, and then if people were really interested they could follow that down the sort of rabbit hole, if you like, and really explore the evidence behind what we were saying and what we were promoting in terms of practice.
I think the most important message for growers is to understand if you have constraints present and what they are, because we can predict what their impact is, but really knowing what constraints you're managing is the critical first step.
Growers have been able to take this information, or the people that advise growers have been able to take this information. They've been able to translate it from where it's been produced, because we've got all that evidence behind it, and apply it to their systems. And we've seen massive changes in adoption for water repellents and management there, for changes in compaction, changes in acidity, of course.
Initially we were targeting obviously landholders and growers, wanting to manage our soils both for productivity but also for our resilience of those farming systems. What we found is that the books are really popular with undergraduate teaching and with high schools. So they are able to take components of the book, such as the videos, and use them in their scheduling and their teaching programs so that they can visualise the concept of the science that they're needing to teach. We have graphs that you can tap on and find out more information, and we have, for example, a virtual soil pit. So rather than a grower or a student having to go out to the paddock and stand in a soil pit, we have someone describing it, but we then also have the data behind it. So I think the really critical thing is it's visual, so it's engaging. They can use it in terms of the depth of their knowledge and their interest, but it's also evidence-based, so they have the confidence around the information being presented.
For WA growers, peer-to-peer learning is essential. It's one of the most acknowledged and accepted ways of transferring information. We have the early adopters who are keen to get out there and pick up stuff that as soon as it's generated, and even help us generate that sort of information. But I think there's always a question, if you've just got information from plot trials, is how does that scale up? Now we can scale it up to demonstration sites and things like that, working with grower groups for example, but when we use real case studies where farmers and growers have already adopted some of these practices, we can show how that practice is actually having an impact in the grower's paddock at the scale where another grower can be confident that that's going to be applicable to them.
This book series captures our current knowledge around soil management in WA, so from a number of different perspectives, but we've covered the main constraints that we need to deal with in terms of crop and pasture production in WA. The most recent book is around plant nutrition, and it covers both crop nutrition and pasture nutrition with a focus on WA. And so we cover the full breadth from the physiological roles of nutrients right through to management of them. From a nutritional perspective, the main issue with our soils, I guess, is that they are inherently have low fertility. And so that means to maximise yield, maximise water sufficiency, we need to apply fertilisers or boost nutrient supply through crop rotation. And the other aspect that we're trying to balance is around profit. So we're always trying to manage risk and return with our nutrient inputs.
There's a global community interest in soils, and there should be. We really encourage that because it is underpinning our food, our feed, our fibre, fuel, foundations. It really underpins our society. These books are available, I think, in 52 countries and have had over 9,500 downloads. So, we are having some impact, and I think a lot of that is to do with the great science.